50, so what? Welcome to the show. I'm Carol. Over 50, over 60, over 70, so what? This show is all about helping you to keep active, healthy and living independently in your own home as long as possible. And we like to encourage everyone to try new things and to meet new people. So please drop us a note through Facebook and let us know about some of those great new things that you're doing. To start the show today, we're going to take a peek behind the scenes at the amazing experience which is floating. We meet Dr. Mychelle Whitewood and she's going to explain to us how floating all works. Now you regulars, you all know we have the fitness segment. So everyone please join in because you're going to feel better afterwards. Who cares if you're single? Today we're going to meet some singles over 50 who like to go out on a Saturday night with life's a ball. And we're going to meet a married couple who originally met at one of Mez's events. Hi everyone, on Energy for Life today we're talking about floating. Now I started floating about 20 years ago and I've found it to be one of the very few things that actually help me to relax. And today we're going to be talking with an expert in flotation therapy, Dr. Mychelle Whitewood. Now Mychelle has 25 years experience as a registered doctor in traditional Chinese medicine and she is from the Water Temple and an expert in flotation therapy. Hi Mychelle, welcome to Over 50 So What? Can't wait to share the whole flotation experience with people that know nothing about it.
Thanks for the invitation, Carol. It's lovely to be here.
Now, what is floating? I've asked a few friends, they have no idea what floating is. A lot of people, as you would know, don't know what floating is. What is it?
Very simple. You lay in a tank or a float room or an open float room, and in our float tanks there's about 600 kilos of Epsom salts to 1,000 litres of water, so it's a little bit denser than the Dead Sea. And just to differentiate the experience of what happens in the Dead Sea and in our oceans, that's magnesium chloride as opposed to Epsom salts or magnesium sulfate. And the main difference is the sulfate's able to help with hydration of the cells, whereas as we know when we swim in the sea it dehydrates and you get thirsty. So it actually enables you to spend as long as you like in a tank and you don't get wrinkly skin. It's actually quite silky smooth.
So can you explain the suspension? What happens when people get in there?
Well, it's a fantastic experience to be actually weightless and move with such effortlessness. And the water temperature is skin temperature, so that's about 34.5 degrees. And you float naked and you're in your own room and you can leave the lights on or off. And when we go into the room, we'll explain that. And you can keep the lid closed or open.
So what are all the benefits of floating?
They're untold, Carol. But a lot of people, I think the first thing that they say that they get out of it is relaxation. But we can associate floating because of the zero gravity and the reduction in the external sensory inputs. You can talk about it for sports recovery, you can talk about it for managing pain, you can talk about floating benefits for beauty and weight loss, hormonal benefits. It's endless. The person who developed flotation therapy in itself was a neuroscientist, Dr. John C. Lilly.
Yes, I know there's a lot of science behind it, and I can only speak for myself that I've found the benefits to be just next level.
Totally.
How did you get into floating?
Well, I can give you the shortened version of that, and there was a random email that came into my inbox a few years ago. I just went, I'm going to go and find out about this. And I love water and I know the benefits of magnesium, and as I closed the lid I just went, oh my God, everyone should have this experience, because I could sort of close off from the outside world and just calm my whole system down without needing to have acupuncture needles or have a massage or have another therapy come in. I could just self-calm, and being in that warm, enclosed environment, I felt really supported and nurtured and safe. I wondered how I could merge my business as a practitioner into here, because I firmly believe that, you know, floating has so much potential to help people emotionally as well as physically, and I think it's a game changer in health.
And what happens when a person comes for the first time?
Well, after they've registered, we take them into the room and give them a full orientation. And by giving them a detailed orientation, then that enables them to feel safe and confident to know what actually happens, or what their experience can potentially be like, because each float is unique. It's different for every person, and every time you float, it's a different experience.
Well, nobody knows what floating is. They have no idea what happens behind the door. So let's go and show them, shall we?
Great idea. So these are dream pods. These are pretty common in Australia, and they're beautiful coloured lights that you go through the cycles. These are gas struts, so the lids are really easy to open, lift up, and we've got a handle up here that does that. You've got your own shampoo and conditioner. These are things that you're required to do before you actually get into the tank, that you shower off, and I like that as a ritual almost, to let go of what's going on out the outside world. So you're using all of that time in preparation to get into the tank. As we explained, that these are the lights, and you can turn them on or off, because when the sensor lights go out, it's quite dark. So I always recommend that people turn the lights on and off a couple of times for muscle memory. There's also an emergency button that people use if they need to get attention to the attendants out the front. But people are in their room, it's a private space, and they're actually in more control than they realise. So you don't have to close the lid. You don't have to turn the lights off.
Well, it's a beautiful experience in there with all the colours in the tank. It looks so pretty. Now, what's the common experiences that people have after floating for the first time?
Floating is such a unique experience, and everyone has a different experience, and even each float that you have is different. What I can share is my observation of people, that after they come out, they actually have like what we call an afterglow. There's a float afterglow, so to speak, because there's much more serenity and a sense of calm.
So what would you recommend to someone? How many sessions should they try to get the full benefits?
Oh, that's $1 million question.
To start with?
We all really recommend at least 3 floats, because each float is different and you can't evaluate anything with a one-time experience. If you're doing a yoga class or a fitness class or having an experience that's new and different, the first time is not always, you've got to sort of orientate yourself in the tank. You might splash salt in your face, which is never do. But there's all these things that you have to feel comfortable with. Even going to have your massage, I still think people, when I recommend, at least go back twice, because the practitioner has to get to know your body, and you have to know to feel safe and relaxed for them to do their work. So 3.
So if someone's sitting at home watching this today thinking, oh, that doesn't look as bad as I thought it was, and I can see that you've got control over what controlling every aspect of it, what would you say to them sitting at home?
Come in, you've got nothing to lose, and the benefits are untold. You float.
Awesome. Thanks so much for coming on the show, Mychelle.
Thank you for the opportunity, Carol.
Thanks for watching our TV show. Be sure to hit subscribe, and then you'll never miss an episode. Jump on Facebook, join our group, get in on the fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. I'm Carol, over 50. So what?